Hi everybody, welcome back to Science with Ilana. I hope you're all doing great. I'm at the museum and I have a new animal to introduce you all to. So I want to just do a quick shout out to Simi and Evan and Millie and Max and Andy and Olivia and Matthew and Emma and Liv and Evie and Alma and Noah, who asked to learn a little bit more about some bugs. So I happen to have a pretty cool and kind of big bug to share with you. Do you all know what this bug is? This is a millipede, and a millipede is one animal in the group of arthropods. And an arthropod is an animal that has an exoskeleton. So this millipede has sort of a hard outer body because it does not have any bones on the inside of its body. So it's actually an invertebrate. And an arthropod is an animal that has a segmented body. So can you see all these little lines here? Each of those represents a segment on this millipede's body. And arthropods also have jointed legs, which just means that their legs sort of bend and they can walk. Now this animal's really good at holding on to me. Can you see that I can move my hand all around and it just kind of sticks? This animal is not dangerous at all. Millipedes live in the forest, usually on the forest floor. Sometimes they can crawl up tree bark, but they like to spend most of their time down in the dirt. Millipedes are found in the forest around here. You can find them in Central Park. You can find them all around New York State. You can find millipedes in Africa, in the rainforest, in South America. You can find different kinds of millipedes all over the world. Now I want you to kind of just watch its legs. Millipede means 1,000 legs. Now this animal doesn't really have 1,000 legs, that's a lot, but it does have a lot of legs. Millipedes can have several hundred legs. And can you see that when it walks, its legs sort of move in like a wave in a pattern? And it doesn't hurt at all, they just sort of tickle. And that is how a millipede walks. They're very slow moving, which means that they have to have ways of defending themselves because they move so slowly. So that's where their exoskeleton comes in very handy. If a millipede feels threatened, they will curl themselves up into a tight little ball with their head sort of tucked in the middle as a way of protecting themselves because this exoskeleton is sort of hard, like armor. Some millipedes will also just bury themselves right in the dirt so that they can't be seen. And millipedes will also excrete or let go of sort of a yucky smelling and yucky tasting liquid from their bodies so that if a bird or a lizard kind of came close and took a little bite, it would taste really yucky and they would let go. It's not really poison or venom. It's just a yucky tasting excretion from their bodies, and that's the way that they defend themselves. Now, millipedes also have 2 antennae. Can you see those 2 long antennae? And they have eye spots. Can you see those dark eyes right there? So this is the face of our millipede, right here. Kind of crawling right towards you all. And you can really see the legs, the segmented body, and you notice the color too. It would be really well camouflaged down in the dirt, on the forest floor, or on a tree. Now this millipede was born from an egg, and as it grows, as millipedes grow, they have to kind of climb out of their exoskeleton that's too small, and there will be a new bigger one underneath, and that's called molting. And I happen to have a molt of a millipede. So this is just sort of the empty exoskeleton. You can kind of see through it, but you can see the segments. And when they're growing and they need a bigger exoskeleton, they kind of just crack open and crawl out of their old one. And you can find these sheds or these molts in their tank or in their habitat. Now, millipedes are important for the forest because they like to eat decaying leaves and fruit and plants, so they're part of the crew that help clean up the forest floor and keep it clean. And they are usually just herbivores, which means they really only like to eat plants or fruit. Pretty cool, huh? They're born from eggs. And they have to watch out for snakes, birds, lizards, frogs, and other insects like centipedes, which are animals that are hunters and eat meat. Now, I don't think that you all can see, but there are actually some teeny tiny little animals. See these little tiny white dots that are sort of moving on the millipede's body? Those are teeny tiny little mites. And they live on the millipede's body, and the millipede and these mites are friends. They have a nice symbiotic relationship, which means that they like being together because the mites clean the millipede's body by eating off little bits of dirt and bacteria and little tiny bits of plant or anything that's stuck to their body, and they get a meal. So the millipede gets sort of a bath from the mite, and the mite gets something to eat. So they like living together. You can see one right there. Let's see if I can find another mite for you. They're sort of down by the legs, so they're really hard to see. Now, you know that I like talking about poop, right? Millipede poop helps make new soil. So they eat up all the dead plants that have fallen to the forest floor, and then they kind of poop out some new soil. And that's how they help the forest. So I hope you all liked meeting this very cool looking millipede and seeing how it moves its body with all of these legs. And if you have any animals that you would like to see or a diorama that you would like to know more about, let me know. Happy exploring, everybody. Bye.